All right, what up, what up, what up, what up? You already know what to do. It's your boy B-Phil, and it's time to learn something new. So today, what we're going to be doing is creating a Mage AI pipeline that'll facilitate getting new YouTube videos from a particular channel. So you, as a busy professional or as a builder, can get the transcripts and then have a summary of those particular transcripts, and then watch the videos that seem the most interesting. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, so if you check here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have some Airtable. I'm going to show you how to get that set up as well. And we're going to pull an RSS feed from a YouTube channel that we're really interested in keeping up with. So basically the use case here is I'm a busy professional, right? And I got all this other stuff to do, but I still do want to keep up with very specific creators who come out with more recent news in a particular field, such as AI or even data updates. And so maybe I want to scrape the newer videos, or rather I want to get the newer videos from the RSS feed and then get the transcripts from that RSS feed as well. And then I can skim the actual transcripts and get some insight, or even watch the entire video if it looks good to me. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and create a Mage Pipeline. And so we're going to have data loaders from Airtables and YouTube. Then we're going to pass the data that we get back from both of those into a transform block where we're going to go ahead and difference the Airtable data frame and the YouTube data frame. And then we're going to get those new videos, right? Anything that's new. And then if there is something new, we're going to go ahead and get the transcripts for those videos. And then we're going to go ahead and return those as an enriched data frame. So we're going to have the metadata that we want with the actual transcript. And then we're going to go ahead and export that back out to Airtable. Now, you can get creative with this. You can go ahead and extend this and make your own dashboard. So using something like a front-end framework, you can go ahead and load in that data from that Airtable and then go ahead and display it in a way that looks nice to you. We're going to cover the data pipeline today and get you started with Mage. So let's just go ahead and jump into the code. I'm going to show you how to get started with Mage. And first, navigate to the Mage website. So we want to go to docs.mage.ai, and we're going to go ahead on the left-hand menu, click Quick Start. And we see here we have Get Mage, and this is going to be for a local deployment. So what we're going to do is we're going to clone the repository. And for you would just go ahead and run this git clone, and then you cd into this directory. The one that I see here is Mage Quick Start, and then you would want to go docker compose up. And then it's going to go ahead and create your local Mage installation. We're going to see that here. And it looks like it's pulling cache stuff. So great. It looks like it's up and running. So we want to go ahead and go to localhost 6789. So localhost, that's going to be localhost 6789. And then we go here and you can see your first project. Now you can modify some of the environment variables so you can change this your first project. But the more important thing here is that you just get a basic understanding of Mage AI. So we're going to go ahead and table this now that we have it installed. And we're going to go and look at the script that we're going to be running on Mage. So first we go here and we're going to need to use a few packages. We're going to need to use a feed parser. We're going to use polars today, so we're going to install that. We're going to need the Airtable package as well, and we're going to need the YouTube transcript API. So first, let's go ahead and start with the Airtable. So first, let's go ahead and set up the Airtable table. You can go to airtable.com, and you can go ahead and create a free account. And then you can go ahead and click from scratch. And when we go from scratch, we're going to go ahead and just create the base level table here. So we're going to need an ID, and this is going to be a single text. We're going to need a summary. This is going to be some long text. We're going to need the YouTube video ID. We're going to need the, I think it's date. Parse date published. So we're going to go ahead and go back to Airtable. We're going to save this real quick. We're going to go back to our Airtable, and we're just going to look at this other one so we don't have to guess. So you can see I have some data here. And I'm going to be using this one, but I just want to show you how you can use this today. So you want to go ahead and have these two. So we want the link field. Let's go ahead and create that link. And this is going to be the data type of single line text. We're going to save that. Then we want the title, published, and transcript. So we're going to go title. And then we're going to say published. And then we're going to go ahead and save the transcripts and single line text here for published. And we're going to say transcript. And this is going to be long text. So we're going to create all these fields. Now we have our table set up. Now what you want to go ahead and do is you want to get an API key here. So on the right hand side of this table, you want to go to navigate to Developer Hub. And in Developer Hub, you can go ahead and select this button to get a personal access token, and you just follow instructions. It's going to ask you for, let's go ahead and create one. So we have, let's say YouTube token, and we're going to go ahead and add scopes here. So you want the data records right. Let's, all right, well, we're not going to log in there. We're going to add another scope. The reason why I was doing that is because this is giving me some problems here. Great. And we have what we needed here. So we have the read and the writes for records. And we're going to go ahead and select the new base that we just created. Right here, it's untitled base. So we're going to create the token. And then you're going to get a token like this. And so you want to copy and paste this into your environment. So inside of your code editor, you want to go ahead and create a file called .env, and you want to go ahead and paste that environment variable in there. And you're going to name it Airtable _ access _ token, all caps. Great. So we're going to be done here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because I don't need this one. All right, so now we should be set up and ready to go. And yeah, we don't know our password right now, so we're just gonna leave that. Okay, so now you should be set up and ready to go with the table. So I'm gonna use this table today. And so I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna remove all of these records. Actually, I'm gonna remove all of them so you can see from the actual base, we can load in the records that we need. So we're going to go to our code editor, and you can find this code in the description below. I'm going to go ahead and just walk you through it here. So first and foremost, we're going to create a few functions. So we're going to create the get transcripts function. This is going to allow us to utilize the YouTube transcript API to get the transcripts for a video ID. Next, we're going to go ahead and create a init Airtable, and this is just going to initialize our Airtable table. And we're going to go ahead and run the get transcript on that and then push that row to our table. So let's go ahead and run this script right now. And it's adding one row, and we can go to Airtable and look at what we have here. So we brought that one up. So you can see here, we deleted everything, but see, we have one table here, or one row here right now, and it contains everything that we need. So next, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and test the next function, and that's going to be add more. So it's going to do a similar function, except for now we're going to load in all of the actual records from the RSS feed. So let's run that. So it's adding 14 new rows. And I'm going to show you how you can do this in batch when we get to the implementation side on Mage. But this is what it's effectively going to do. And if we go back to our Airtable, you can see it's adding the rows in here. So now we have this database where we can go ahead and read it, and we can go ahead and display the actual transcripts that we got from this actual YouTube channel in some nice fashion. Again, I leave that up to you, the actual builder. So let's go ahead and move over to Mage. All right, so we're in our Mage instance, and what we want to do first is we want to go ahead and create a pipeline. So you want to click new, want to click standard batch, and let's name this YouTube RSS. already have this created, but you can go ahead and create the same. So you click YouTube RSS, and then we're gonna hit Edit Pipeline. And for the sake of this actual video, I already went ahead and coded, so we don't have to talk through everything that you need to create. So first and foremost, we want to go ahead and import our secrets. So on the right-hand side of your Mage deployment, we can go ahead and create or click the secrets tab, and we're going to go ahead and import our secrets. So we want Airtable _ access _ token, all caps, and then we want to put the secret value for that. Next, we want the base ID. To find the base ID in the base table, which I didn't mention previously, you can go ahead and look here in the browser. So this first link or this first query string is going to be app and then some characters. You copy that. That's going to be your base ID. And then the next query string, which is TBL and some characters, that's going to be your table ID. So you want to go ahead and put those inside of your Mage deployment. All right, great. So we have our data loader here. And so next, what we're going to do before we go ahead and run any of this, let's go to the command center at the top here, and we're going to find the terminal. And so we're going to go to the portal terminal, and we're going to go ahead and make sure we have all the requirements installed. So we want to go pip install, and we're going to go polars, whoops, just to make sure. All right. So for some reason that wasn't functioning. Let's open this up one more time. All right, so we're gonna say pip install polars, and then we're gonna go and install Pi Airtable. Then we want to go ahead and install the YouTube transcript API. So YouTube transcript API. And this should be everything that we need to go ahead and run this. So let's go ahead and install those. Okay, so we installed Pi Airtable and we installed the YouTube transcript API. Great. So now what we can go ahead and do is hit this run button. So first and foremost, let's not hit the run button first. Let's go ahead and import our packages. And from here, we're going to go from Pi Airtable. We're going to import the API as we have in our actual live demo on our local machine. Then we're going to import polars. And then inside of the load data function, we're going to go ahead and load the actual API, right? So we're going to use our get secret value, which we imported up here from the Mage AI data preparation shared secrets library. And we're going to load the Airtable access token. And this is how you load from the secrets that you've imported in Mage. So you can see here, this is what we went ahead and did. Okay, great. So next, we're going to go ahead and load the table. So we're going to go api.table, load the table, and then we're going to get all of the records from the table. And then we're going to transform those records into a polars data frame. And we're going to say for the fields inside of this Airtable's data, we're going to go ahead and make that the actual schema. Okay, great. And we're going to just load those fields, right? So we're going to load all the records per field. All right, and then we're going to say if this data frame is empty, which when we're doing this on a trigger, it could be empty because there may not be any new YouTube videos. Then we're just going to set this error df to an empty data frame, and we're going to go ahead and return that. So let's go and run that now. And there we go. So we have 15 rows. Let's go ahead and delete all 15 of these rows. And we're going to run this one more time. So we have no output. Great. So, which, again, if you're doing these checks here, Mage comes with data quality checks. This may be something you don't want to happen, right? So if you want to assert output is not none, and this output's going to be this. So if you put none here, right? Maybe you want to, instead of returning an empty data frame, you want to return none to check this data quality. For our particular case, it can be empty, so we're gonna leave that as it is. Next, we're gonna go ahead and load the RSS feed. So we're just splitting up the code as we had before so that it's more manageable in its single pieces. So we're gonna import feed parser, and that just prompted me, we need to go ahead and install feed parser. So let's go back to the portal terminal. Boom. And we're gonna say pip. Let's go to the portal terminal, and we're going to say pip install feed parser. All right, and we should have feed parser installed successfully. Great. And just a note, you can put these inside of your requirements.txt inside of your Docker deployment. I'm just showing you just real time here. So let's go ahead and load this feed. So we're going to run this. And you can see we got 15 rows back as we would expect, as we previously been doing. Great. So this code here basically is just the feed parser on a YouTube RSS feed. In order for you to find that, you can just go to YouTube and you can find the channel that you're looking to get information from. So we can go ahead and go to primetime, and yeah, the Primeagen. Interesting character. We're going to go to view page source, and we're just going to type in RSS, and we're going to find that here. Now, of course, there's some sites that make this a bit more clean. You can find the channel ID, but this to me is just the most effective way. And then you just go ahead and copy this href from this RSS right here. Okay, so you go ahead and paste that here into your feed parser. Then we're going to go ahead and get the entries, and now we're going to use pollers to go ahead and select the fields that we want. So this is going to be ID, link, YouTube, video ID, the title, publish, and summary. And of course, with the code, you can go ahead and play around with this in your local deployment, but I'm just showing you here for brevity's sake. So let's go ahead and click this button. We're going to run it. And of course, we got the 15 rows back. Next, we have a transformers block. So in order for you to create that, you want to go ahead and you'll see these buttons here, and if you got the new interface, you'll see something slightly different, but just try and find the transformers button. And what we can do here is Python and generic no template, and you won't see all of this here. You'll just see this transform block, and it'll just have data. So one thing to note here is at the top of this transform block, you can see what the actual variables from the two previous blocks are. So from our load RSS feed block, this is going to be data, and then you can reference that here in this transform function. And then data 2 is our load Airtable, and you can reference that here as well. So now we're going to go ahead and bring in our get transcripts function, and we're going to create a new function called process dictionaries or process dicts. And so next, we're inside of this function, we're going to say row with transcripts. And of course, if new row equals 0, we're just going to go ahead and print something, and we probably should return here. Let's return. Oh, actually, this is fine. This is fine here. And you can modify this code as you see fit. So we're going to go ahead and go down here to the transform block. So if it isn't 0, right, we're going to loop through the rows, and we're going to go ahead and get the transcript for that row, right? And then we're going to go ahead and update that row to have a transcript column. And then we're going to append that to our rows with transcript and then return that actual list. So we can see here, if data 2 is empty, we're going to do update rows, and we're going to process all the new data. And so this really should never be 0. Technically. And then we're going to go ahead and store all of those new rows inside of a new Polar's data frame, and then we're going to return that data frame. Else, if data 2 is not empty, then we're going to join them, and with Polars, we can join them on the ID, and we're going to do an anti-join, which is just all the rows that are unique across both of these on the ID. So if there's new rows, right, that don't exist inside of the actual Airtable's data frame, then we're going to go ahead and return those as new rows. Then we're going to go ahead and process those again, add the transcripts enrichment, and then we're going to go ahead and store them in a data frame and return them. And finally, the last block, what we're going to do is we're going to export this back to Pi Airtable. And so what you want to do is you want to import the API from Pi Airtable, and then you want to import polars, and we're going to load our Airtable table, and we're going to go output. So we're going to transform the output from our previous block into a list of dictionaries, and then we're going to go ahead and batch create. And so on the table object from Pi Airtable, you can batch create, and we set this to true because we want it to believe this is inferring the schema. So great, which you probably wouldn't want it to do that. You probably just want to have this set in stone, but I just set this here just because. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and run this, and we should get some exports here. So it looks like 2.5 seconds. We go here, and we should see all of it here. So that's how you just go ahead and create that pipeline. The last step to this is we're gonna go ahead and create a trigger to run this on a schedule. So on the left-hand side of your Mage deployment, you wanna find the triggers button. We're gonna create a new trigger. We're gonna put this on a schedule, and we're gonna choose a custom frequency. And so you can see here, it's minute, hour, day, month, week. So at 12 p.m. So every day, it's gonna be every day at 12 p.m. And our start date is going to be today. And it shouldn't run, but it's okay. We'll run it one time. So let's go ahead and save these changes. Let's go ahead and enable this trigger, and let's click run once. And so now we're just gonna wait, and every day at 12, it should run this pipeline, given you have Mage running locally inside of your own Docker deployment. Of course, you can go ahead and deploy this in your own server, and then it'll just run every day at 12. And then now you have that Pi Airtable database. You have that Airtable database where you can go ahead and utilize that data for something that you care about, or some front end. All right, so we have that finished running, and we didn't have any updates, right? So we shouldn't see anything here. So in short, that's how you create a Mage pipeline to run every day at 12, ingesting YouTube video transcripts from an RSS feed. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to come back for more, hit the subscribe button, and of course, leave your comments. Let me know what else you want to see from these data series videos or these Mage videos. And if you're looking to find a community of other builders, go ahead and hit that link in the description for the school group. And for all you builders out there, just remember, the most important thing you could do right now is go build. It's your boy B Phil. I'm out. Peace.